The UN says 10,000 Palestinians have been forced out of their homes in the Gaza Strip.
Here's a summary of the article.
Palestinian and Lebanese youth protesting Israeli attacks against Palestinians. There are more than enough reasons to protest against Israeli occupation, the ongoing attacks by Israeli settlers against them that are often carried out with impunity, without indictment by the Israeli state, Ibrahim said. Al Jazeera's Nida Ibrahim reporting from Ramallah at a Palestinian protest near the illegal Israel settlement of Beit El said that Palestinians have been throwing fireworks at the Israeli army, probably in an attempt to fend off a drone that's carried and loaded with tear gas bombs flown by the Israeli army. Palestinian health officials say 6 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli army fire in the occupied West Bank. The officials say 5 were killed in stone-throwing clashes with Israeli forces in several locations, and a 6th was killed during an attempt to stab an Israeli soldier. Israeli forces have fired warning shots toward a group of protesters who crossed from Lebanon as part of a rally against the Israeli campaign in Gaza. Israeli forces shot dead a Palestinian man in the occupied West Bank, the 4th Palestinian killed since Monday.
This post received a score of 28,000, with an upvote ratio of 88%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Israel has the right to defend itself, President Joe Biden.
Don't forget that it's the standard answer for every single U.S. president. This isn't a Biden thing but a U.S. thing.
The lack of articles on our politics and our news about the current situation in Israel and Palestine is really weird to me.
Don't forget our anime_titties.
May I ask why it is the way that it is? That subreddit, I mean.
World News sub was being flooded by hentai posts and the subreddit's leadership did nothing about it. It also focused heavily on US politics and focused on Trump, which really took away from the world part of it. Anime titties pretty much made to mock how that's what World News had become at the time, similar to the trees and marijuana enthusiasts subreddits.
And people wonder how the Hamas gets members.
Exactly. It's not exactly brain surgery to figure this out. Yet Netanyahu's ardent supporters continue to blindly follow his war cry.
Fuck Netanyahu supporters. Without them maybe there could be peace.
That's insanely optimistic.
Israelis and Palestinians have been killing each other since long before Netanyahu even entered politics. The fact is Netanyahu and all his supporters could drop dead today, and Israel and Palestine would still be in similar positions tomorrow. The Israelis have pissed off the Palestinians enough through decades upon decades of harassment, oppression, and softly genocidal treatment that the situation is completely screwed. Palestine isn't going to call it quits because what else do they do? Even ignoring all the extremist activity in the region, Israel has made it policy that Palestine will never be allowed to flourish.
The UN condemning places means nothing.
Hamas launches a bunch of rockets, Iron Dome intercepts 95% of them. 2 or 3 Israelis get killed, and Israel kills 100 to 200 people in retaliation. Where have I heard this before? Oh, it's every fucking year.
It's almost like Netanyahu is about to lose power and needed to look like a war hero, so started provoking this shit by storming the third holiest site for Muslims in the holy month and threatening evicting 100 family out their homes under international denouncing.
Yeah, pretty much. This is what the people rooting for Israel is supporting. Netanyahu is a right-wing nut. Like Trump, but actually smart. He's also on trial for corruption. This is all a distraction. People are dying because this asshole don't want to give up power.
Shit just makes my blood boil. How can you celebrate another human being slaughtered while taking their homes and their land? Imagine the world reaction if people start celebrating or even denying the Holocaust. Meanwhile, France are banning joining any pro-Palestinian protests while Israel trying to wipe them the fuck out.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.